Hello there. How are all of my beautiful souls? I am joining you with another monthly astrology forecast. This is the astrology forecast for the month of April. I hope that all of you are doing well and that all of you are doing your best to keep yourself busy in times like this. I know that it is hard being stuck at home with nothing to do. This is the perfect time to be listening to podcasts and catching up on your favorite shows and spending time with family. And it's definitely a time to be researching your astrology and spiritual growth. So I would like to know what you're doing to enhance your spiritual growth and to become more spiritually whole. I hope that all of you are living in love and light and that you're all staying home and staying safe. We all definitely have an interesting month ahead of us, but I do know that this is definitely going to be a month of new information and new beginnings. Many things may be turned upside down, but this is so that new things can be brought into our lives. So keep in mind that this is general overall energy for the collective whole. Some of it may pertain to you, some of it may not. You might listen to this and realize that it applies to somebody else that's close to you. If you're interested in a more personal forecast for yourself, contact me for pricing. I'm offering specialized pricing due to the coronavirus pandemic. So, we are all in kind of hard times and tough times, and I know we're all seeking answers, and we should be all here trying to help each other out. Message me on my Spiritual Voices page, or you can email me through acrossthegoldenveil@yahoo.com. That's all lowercase. If you're interested in pricings, whether it be for an astrology forecast or just a general reading, be sure to grab a pen and paper and write down what you connect with the most. And then make sure you come back at the end of the month and listen to it again and see what fits and what didn't. Because I think you'll be surprised what doesn't make sense right now. By the time the end of the month comes, it might make sense to you. And also stay tuned. Take the time. I'm going to be doing more podcasts with my friend, Kristen Roberts, Psychic Medium. And we're going to be talking about a lot of spiritual things that are going to be coming up for us for spiritual growth. And really exciting news, I'm starting up a internet radio station called Across the Golden Veil. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be releasing that. We're going to be highlighting, of course, the Paranormal XL podcast that I do with my stepdaughter, Gigi, and then my own podcast that I do, Spiritual Voices, with the special episodes with my friend Kristen Roberts, among other friends. And so hopefully we'll be able to grow that. So if you have your own podcast, get a hold of me through the Across the Golden Veil at yahoo.com if you'd like to submit some of your podcasts to put on that radio station. So as soon as I have more information on that and that's up and going, I will be sending that out to all of my listeners. So thank you for listening. I appreciate that you keep coming back. I see every month that I keep growing and I get more and more downloads. So please keep listening. There'll definitely be more, and share with your friends. And with all that big mouthful being said, let's get started. So on or around April 4th, you can find yourself drawn into some very spiritual conversations based on the occult. Now, the occult's not necessarily like, I think sometimes people hear the word occult and they think like, devils and demon. And that's not the case. The occult really kind of covers spiritual topics, tarot cards, divinity. It's not a bad thing. I see many people delving into a spiritual truth. Okay. And it's going to be really getting you to question what drives your soul and what makes you tick. It's time to be drawn in and intrigued by spirituality. Today is all about your soul. It's time to begin to gain a deeper spiritual awareness and self-understanding and understanding of joy, love, peace, and happiness. It's time to feel whole again. What steps can all of you take towards this? You need to allow yourself to let go of the physical world and completely and wholly tap into the spiritual world. You don't always have to place your hand upon something in order to believe in something and know that it's there. What is your spiritual truth? What is your divinity? It's time to go out and find your cosmic self. We all came from somewhere. We all need something that feeds our soul. We all need to find our place in this world. We all need to know that we are all one and that we're all connected and that we need to take care of each other. If we didn't know that before, we should be knowing that now. Waking up and looking around what we're doing right now, we're at home sitting with our families. If we didn't know we were all connected before, we should know that now. And we should be realizing what's important. And that's the people that are close to us, taking care of each other and loving our families. On or around April 7th, many of us are going to find ourselves thinking very deeply, and many are going to get caught up in powerful, thought-provoking conversations that are going to delve into the mysterious. Hot topics may very well rule the day, especially when it comes to issues that might deal with the home. So I could see maybe some tempers rising from people being stuck at home. Maybe people have different opinions about how things are supposed to be done. I do see that there's a potential for a secret or a plot that's uncovered. So if there's something that you have been hiding, you might want to come clean now, because you might just get caught with your hand in the cookie jar. And sometimes life can be a lot easier if you just fess up instead of getting caught at something. I'm just saying. So there are some that have something that they need to be honest about and upfront about, and they are going to find themselves in a situation where they're going to be forced to do it. And sometimes, let's be honest, things go a little bit smoother when you do it on your own versus having to be forced into the situation. If this is you, you might as well just bite the bullet and get it over with. There is definitely a potential that someone's pressure valve is going to go off, and insecurities are definitely going to rise up. And then, on the other side of this, I do see the potential of someone being extremely selfish today. That there's going to be somebody with this energy, there's going to be somebody who could really care less about anybody else's feelings. All they care about is getting their own way, and they don't care about how their behaviors affect anybody else. So it could be very well like somebody who knows that they're going to get their hand caught in the cookie jar and could care less how that affects anybody else. There's also going to be somebody who is being called to look at a bigger picture. And there's also going to be somebody who's going to be called to look at what lies just below the surface. Know that for some, there may be a very difficult journey that's going to have to be undertaken, but this is because it's a part of their destiny. And while at this time it might be a little bit tough or it might look like it's a struggle, it brings them to a better path, a new beginning to a path that they have always been meant to take and destined to take. And the struggle might be greater now because they've been supposed to take this path for a long time, but they've been avoiding it. So the universe kind of shoved them in the direction they're supposed to take because they should have taken it a long time ago. Sometimes when should have taken the path a long time ago and you didn't, when you finally get shoved into it, it's a little bit of a harder push in that direction. Many of you may not be able to see the big picture yet, but at the end of the month, there will be things that begin to make sense and you'll start to see things more clearly. Now, on April 8th, this is a full moon in Libra, and relationships are definitely going to be heightened, and many are going to have the desire to not disturb the peace. This full moon is going to revolve all around relationships. Some, whether they like it or not, they are going to be called upon to share their ideas. It's going to be in a way where you're one of those people who have kind of held things in because you didn't want to hurt somebody's feelings. You're going to be called upon to completely share your feelings, whether it hurts the other person's feelings or not, because you have to. Sometimes you have to share the good and the bad. On the other side of it, you might be one of those people that are hearing how somebody feels, whether you like it or not. Many times you have to hear about how other people feel. Sometimes it doesn't hurt for others to hear how they make you feel. Sometimes realities have to be confronted, but it's good to clear the air and to release what no longer serves you. Without a doubt, there's going to be increased potential for tension and opposing viewpoints, so try to keep an open mind, but not so open-minded that you give your power away. You have to draw the line and the boundaries. There has to be polarity and equal sides. Hear what somebody has to say, but make sure they're hearing your side too. Regardless, make sure there's an equal exchange of ideas. For some, it's going to be very important to be diplomatic. and open-minded, because there's definitely going to be touchy subjects that are going to make the hairs on people's necks start to rise. There is a goal that wants to be met, and then there's going to be some who are going to want to seek solitude after these conversations and do some deep soul searching in order to find the place in the chaos and choose what they're going to want to do and where they're going to want to end up. Know that what happens today is going to actively shape the future for many people. Someone, without a doubt, is going to have a huge impact on your future, or you're going to have a huge impact on somebody else's. Either that, or it's going to affect someone very close to you. We've always been programmed by society to do what we're told. We've always been conditioned to be subordinates. We are spiritual free thinkers. It's time for us to free ourselves from what we have been conditioned to think and believe and start living a life that we feel and begin living a life in which we cherish and feed our souls. We need to start living our best life and being true to ourselves and seeing our value and our worth. We need to start speaking our truth and putting our real energy out there. Allow the energy of the day to flow freely and take charge of your life and do what's right for you. Don't be afraid to do what makes you happy. I feel as if some of you need to let go of what friends and family might think or do and do what you have always dreamed of doing. Because those who criticize you, all they do really is just hold you back, because deep down that's what they want to do. So why let them? On or around April 11th, many are going to find some new way to communicate, and this will bring a whole new perspective. Some are going to need to work on not being very dismissive today, and some may find themselves overwhelmed with obsessive thoughts. And actually, I feel like the obsessive thoughts is what will make many of us seem like they're being dismissive. Not because we're really ignoring people, but because we're so caught up in what we're thinking about and we're doing that we don't notice the people around us. A good way to avoid that is try to be careful to not overthink anything. Find a way to express yourself creatively. Allow yourself to shine and be free. Don't hold back. I see clouds hanging over someone's head. Be careful not to sit inside your head. Think outside the box and put yourself out there. There will be deep concentration today. Know that there's nothing that can be done, but you can get a piece of paper and write it out and get yourself outside of your head. Know that if there's really something that you want to do, there's nothing that you can't do if you put your mind to it. If there's something that you're wanting to organize, this is a great day to do it because you will have the energy to get it done. Without a doubt, there's going to be some who are going to be required to put something in order or organize something, and some will need to be prepared for the potential of a serious conversation today. This conversation will involve a meeting of the minds and a discussion of intellectual ideas. This will help solve a problem that needs to be solved, and today's energy may have you feeling as if you're carrying the world on your shoulders. But the more that you share your ideas and the more you organize, the more things will work themselves out. If you find yourself in the middle of a dilemma, take the time to listen to both sides. Hear both sides and hear everything out. This way, everything will work out just fine and the stress will pass quickly. On or around April 12th, the biggest question of the day for most is just exactly what are you going to do with yourself? Who needs to step up and who needs to step out? Who has purpose? Who has the need? Communication is going to be running high today. Many are going to be all over the place, and those who love to talk are going to be chatty Cathys. For many of you are going to be hearing a story that maybe you don't want to really hear at all. And my best advice is to just keep your ears open and be a good listener. Don't become a part of the subject. Don't put your opinion into the subject. Just be the good listener. Keep a middle ground, stay open-minded, stay partial. Some are going to find information in very unconventional ways. Even if there's some emotional turmoil today, do your best to stay optimistic because there is a lot to be hopeful for. Brighter days are coming. I know sometimes being stuck at home and not feeling like you can do anything, it makes you feel stressed and hopeless, but like I said, brighter days are coming. Today, if you find yourself being emotionally triggered or responsive to things, delve deeper into this. It could be pointing out something that you're craving more of in life. This is your soul that's calling to you. It's time to delve deeper into your calling, into your higher purpose. The moon is triggering the North Node today, which is all about your life purpose. So if you're feeling a strong pull that you should be doing more, then for the love of Pete, listen to this calling. Follow the beat of your own drum and do what feeds your soul. On or around April 14th, there's something that needs to be blown up, and that way it can be broken down. This will help you break through the barriers and lead to motivation and transformation. This is because the blow up allows the pressure to be released. Something that needed to be said will be said, but it'll improve the relationship. It'll either be someone else doing it, or this will be yourself that is doing it. A partnership or relationship is going to play a defining role in your life today. This is going to bring great personal needed change. I do see the potential of this blow up taking place in a public scenario, so be aware of this and be prepared if you find this to be a possibility for you. On or around April 15th, there may be some type of legal battle today. It may be some type of beginning, but for most, I feel as if it's a culmination of some type of legal issue or legal battle. There will definitely be some type of test or challenge depending on which house Jupiter is in for you. Pull up your chart and check it out. For many, Jupiter will bring up issues that center around expansion. There are many who are going to be revisiting family court to rediscuss parenting time or to discuss finalization or beginning of a divorce. Again, check out your chart to see how this will impact you the most so that you can be the strongest that you can. The knowledge that you have gained in the last couple of days is going to be well supported in more ways than many of us can even perceive at the moment. We are all being led in a new direction, even if we can't see it at the moment. The information that we have learned will help us learn and give us new ideas, new hopes, and open new doorways for us. As long as we keep an open mind, many things can be attained through today's energy. Know that even for some, knowledge that has been gained might have even brought up insecurities. This is to balance out the energies and to help release what no longer serves you so that you can create and build stronger energies. Some of you will need to know that at the moment that you cannot have the whole answer, that not everything is going to seem logical at the moment, that you're going to be required to have faith. This is a part of the spiritual process, so stay calm and know that soon enough you're going to have all of the answers that you're going to need. Now is the time for introspection. What is the deeper meaning of life? What makes you happy? And what feeds your soul? What gives you purpose? What can you do to raise the vibration of the collective consciousness? It's time to allow yourself to be guided by the spiritual wisdom and to be divinely led down the spiritual path. What do you need to let go of in order to heal and to move forward in life? Some have a tough decision to make. And some, they hold the key to someone else's destiny. And others know that they are the key to their own. Which are you? Is this your doing? Or is this your undoing? On or around April 16th, we might find ourselves all over the place with this energy. Some of us will definitely find our attention being scattered, and many daily routines are going to be messed up. Try your best to stick to some kind of daily routine because you'll find it easy to stay on task without being scatterbrained if you do stick to a routine, as some of us are going to be called to gain some kind of an agreement from someone, even if this agreement comes from an enemy. Regardless, some type of partnership will need to be made in order to get something accomplished. There may be lies that surround today, and some will definitely have reason to have issues with their partnerships. You might need to see the bigger picture for the long-term win. Remember, there will be a short-term win, or you can have the long-term win. It's up to you. Some people, especially if they are women, may find themselves torn between relationships and their independence. On or around April 18th will be a great day to unwind. If there is a favor that you've been wanting to ask, this is the day to do it because you're more than likely to get it. If there's some type of business that needs to be done, this is the day to get it done because there definitely will be a win-win situation. Watch out for overspending today, and conversations are going to flow naturally today, and everyone will naturally get along. This will be a great day to be spontaneous and to just purely enjoy life. Tap in and stay tuned in because there is going to be great news developing. Some may find themselves encountering something they wanted so badly that's irresistible. For those who take the time to communicate today, they will experience a well-needed discovery. And this discovery will help most meet their basic needs. Most will discover they're going to be changing up the way that they deal with all people, and that the easiest way to get what they want is with smiles, conversation, and gentle manners. On or around April 19th, many will find that they have a sharp mind and a sharp tongue. Some will even find that they have a fighting spirit. This will stem from being driven from a strong sense of purpose. The good news is that with the sun moving into Taurus, I can see many having the strength and restraint to keep their mouths shut when they need to. I sense that there will be some who want to get the job done and don't have time to wait for others to catch up or wait for them to stop messing around. There's a lack of patience today, especially for those who don't want to take things seriously. There's definitely a potential of a cutting remark that is made that hurts someone's feelings, but sometimes the truth needs to be said in order to make progress. Someone, without a doubt, is definitely going to be speaking before they are thinking, and then they'll end up regretting the words that they speak. So if you have the potential of being this type of person, be aware of this energy on this day in case you don't want to end up being this type of person. Today's energy is going to be straightforward and to the point. Some will feel as if they're being held back and tied down, making this restless energy worse, creating a desire to get up and move and to do something or to get out and get away. Some may find themselves moving forward because of things that were said to them today and not looking back. Thus, possibilities from today are endless. So, the lesson from today, I feel, may be just to keep an open mind. And, if you need to, keep your mouth shut. Sort of like your mom used to tell you, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Some may find themselves engaged in issues of intimacy and other private matters that may be important, but do not make them public. Great restraint will come in handy for this, so be sure to utilize this energy. If you have found that you have experienced some type of stress that requires you to use your strength to restraint, take the time to relax. Take the time to retreat if necessary. Do something good for yourself and take from pleasures that you can gain from life. Today, you will discover that you have great strength, and you will discover that you have great restraint when you need it. On or around April 21st, an uncomfortable energy may surround you. This energy might make it difficult for some to reach their goals, leaving them feeling a little bit lost, depressed, and hopeless, especially if they're looking for spiritual direction or looking to find themselves. Issues that have been kept hidden and suppressed might rise up to the surface, or you might find that others close to you have issues that come up. Take the time to slow down and take a good look at a situation from a different perspective and keep an open mind. Be aware of this kind of energy and be aware of the people that are around you, especially those who tend to be more depressed. Keep your eyes open because I feel like this could be a day of people who have a tendency to try to hurt themselves or commit suicide. So be aware of this type of energy because if you do know somebody who has those potentials, they might need you more now than ever. On April 23rd, this is the new moon in Taurus. And so with this new moon in Taurus, many are going to find things take root, and a lot of new beginnings are finally going to start taking place. And some are going to find their foot in brand new doors. This is the time that things are going to get real. This is the time for all of us to start doing things that are real, creating something that has real sustenance, that means something to us, that has worth to our soul, that's worth putting our energy into. Many have felt as if they've been put on the threshold to something big. Here it is. Now's the time. Many of us have been walking on the edge of who we are, who we've been wanting to be for a long time. And now most of us are going to have that chance to create the change that we've been wanting for a very long time. I see many people are going to have the opportunity to find new ways to bring money in. So on this new moon, allow yourself to be spiritually empowered, and you will find yourself bringing new things into your life. On or around April 25th, veils are going to be removed today, and many will be ready to get to the heart of the matter. If there is something that needs to be researched, you're going to find that you can reach the answer very quickly. Many will find themselves in questions where they're going to beginning to see things crystal clear. For some, I do see the tendency to be overly paranoid. If this is you, I ask that you refrain from the urge to go snooping or spying or prying, because this is going to cause trouble and it's definitely going to get you in trouble. There is a powerful force to today, so use this energy for good, because if you approach it in a negative way, it's going to lead you down a negative path. On or around April 26th, many might feel highly self-aware and will have a need to feel free to express themselves and their independence. It'll be highly important to be just aware that this might result in a swift and quick change that some might not be ready for. This shift will be seen in some type of social standing or social group or social situation. Sort of like some type of explosion is going to happen, like at a party. Not necessarily a harmful explosion, but as some kind of group gathering where you least expect it. Something's going to blow up. Some may need to be aware to not hold on too tightly. There is a thing that needs to be balanced to be aware of. And I have a feeling that if you try to balance it too much, it'll fall apart even more. Sometimes you have to allow things to flow, and sometimes you just have to hit the road. On or around April 27th, there will be a decision to be made, and many will be taking their time to make it. It's time to make sure that all of your ducks are in a row. But some of you need to be warned not to overthink things too much. This is a good time to write down all of your thoughts and ideas. This will help most of you process any information and ideas that you have flowing through. Above all, no matter what, be sure to keep your sense of humor. Your thoughts might be revolving around your relationship and your material pursuits. My advice is to go with the flow, to have some fun. Everything will fall into place if you allow things to play out the way they're supposed to. Take the time to find the joy and happiness and connections from your relationships and in your life. Now, that's what I have for the month of April. Again, this is just a basic overall energy. Some of it might pertain to you, some of it might not. It might pertain to a family member. Go through it, write it down, and go through it again at the end of the month and see what fit and what didn't. I hope that you enjoyed it. I thank you for coming back and listening, and I invite you back to listen to more. Stay tuned for more of my guided meditations, and stay tuned for the announcement when I do release my radio station. I will have guided meditations on there, as well as podcasts from not just my Spiritual Voices podcast, but the Paranormal XL podcast, and then my stepdaughter Gigi's True Crime podcast, and many more. I'm super excited about that. If you have any other suggestions or guided meditations that you would like to hear, some spirit talk or classes that you would like to hear about, go ahead and email me at crossthegoldenveil@yahoo.com, all lowercase, and I will get that done for you. Message me, email me if you're interested in a reading and you want to inquire on prices. I am doing special prices for readings and astrology forecasts due to the coronavirus. We all need to be there for each other. I love you, and I thank you for listening, and I appreciate you. My greatest wish is for you to know that you're not alone, that there's always someone right around the corner. Thank you for listening. The spirit in me salutes the spirit in you. Mary.